Kitchener stitch is a great way to graft live stitches to live stitches. As we are stitching, we will be creating this row that's missing in between this fabric and this fabric, creating a seamless finished look. You want to make sure that all your stitches are on a needle. If you've had a provisional cast on and now you've put stitches back on a needle, just make sure that it is the same gauge or smaller than the one you were originally using. I will be referring to this needle as the front needle as it is closer to us, and this as the back needle as it is further back. As we work, we will be working stitches on both needles, so pay attention to which needle we are on, as that will make a difference. We will also be working stitches knitwise and purlwise. Again, it makes a difference, so keep that in mind. We have 2 setup steps before we begin. Our first step is to slip our needle purlwise through this front stitch and pull the yarn through. This stitch stays on the needle, and then we are going to slip our needle knitwise through that first stitch in the back needle and also leave it on the needle. That's setup. We only do that once. Now we have 4 steps that we repeat. First step is stitch the front stitch knitwise and slip it off the needle. You can do this as one smooth movement, as I was doing, or you can, if you want to take things a little slower, stitch knitwise and then slide off. Either way, same result. Then, next front stitch, we stitch purlwise and we leave it on the needle. Now we're moving to the back needle. We're going to stitch that first one purlwise and slide off, and then the next one stitch knitwise and leave on. So we're going to go on off for both the front needle and the back needle. So let's do that again. Front stitch knitwise and we slip off. Next stitch in the front purlwise and we leave on. Back stitch purlwise and slip off. Back stitch knitwise and leave on. Making sure not to twist anything. So we can see that V right there. We've made a knit stitch, and this first one we'll be able to tighten up once we get our ends woven in, but that's what you're doing. This is what we're creating. So we just repeat those 4 steps all the way around. Let's do it again. Front stitch knitwise and it comes off. Next stitch purlwise and it stays on. Back stitch purlwise and it comes off. Back stitch knitwise and it stays on. Let's look at that again. You can see our nice little stitches. A helpful thing to remember is that every stitch will be worked twice. So if you get lost about where you are and you're not sure where you should be in the pattern of the stitches, check and see which stitches you've worked, and if you've already worked them once, you know you work them once again, and if you haven't worked them yet or you've worked them twice, if you've worked them twice, they should be off the needle. So that is a very basic overview of Kitchener stitch. Do this all the way around, and then when you get to your end to join, all you have to do is bury this end inside the tube that you've created, weave it in a little bit, cut it short if it needs to be, but otherwise very simple finishing. So that is Kitchener stitch.